Now that we are at full strength, we must devise a way to compromise Victor's popularity at the Assembly.
I've got a lead. There's this grizzled old general who's been bitching about the lack of info he gets about Aurora. Right now, he's the only one with the balls to call Victor the Dictator incompetent. According to him, the Aurora Dowser's down shit creek and may have been booted off his post. If we can prove that General is right and isn't just some senile old man, maybe the Army's head honchos will be pissed enough at the Colonel to kick his buns in the sun.
We would need hard evidence.
I'm almost positive that Dandolo can help us. Noctis sends merchants everywhere, after all.
We also have some connections with Technomancers over there. They should be able to tell us what happened.
We could try Anton. Aurora's a little far, but there's no place that's safe from Anton's little birds.
It's a start.
Even if abundance is run from the top down, members of the Assembly would pay attention to uprisings. Some of your local allies could help you stir up some anger in the masses. The ASC has made their lives miserable for months. People are arrested on a whisper. It would not take much to spark.
And some politicians would turn against Victor, so as not to lose voter support. Brilliant! We would need instigators, preferably those in touch with the people's needs.
So I was thinking, the opposition would be the perfect organization to spearhead the revolts. The alternative, though I would be more hesitant, the Vori could likely produce the same results with
Perfect. Otherwise,
Back when I was an artist, I got into some altercations with Assembly members who thought my shows were blasphemous. Maybe it was because I didn't say Hail to the Shadow 50 times. I can't say for sure, but if we could get them to think that Victor isn't a devout believer, we could get the large religious sect of the Assembly to revoke their support and demand his banishment. Or we could just give them a little nudge in the right direction by making them believe Victor steals relics for his own use.
we'd have to stage an elaborate setup, but I like it. After all, the trickster must get what he gives. We'll need volunteers that can pretend to be ASC. The plan is right up Anton's alley. It's possible for Dandolo or the opposition to help us out too.
One last thing. I was told the High Judge endorses all of Victor's decisions, even though I know for a fact that he hates him, which is more than a bit strange. The judge is such an honest man.
Or if you're in the mood to make a scandal, I've got everything we need. Did you know that Victor employs young women to worm out information on men? And I'm not Victor, but I have a feeling he used that info to blackmail these same men. If we can prove it, the Assembly would have a major meltdown. Their beloved to find evidence of his trafficking, we could look for the orders he gave his goons. Have you seen his hands? Far too immaculate to be doing this dirty work himself.
The Vori aren't doing anything about it. They must be profiting from it somehow. This is a dead end. We need to find a new approach.
Indeed. How's this? I've heard that a small faction of the Assembly blindly backs up Victor, no matter how crazy the project is. So I believe it almost certain that their chief of this faction was bribed. So unless we bribe him ourselves, we'll have to silence him.
Yes, we should get to the bottom of this and see if it's serum, dirty laundry, or both. Anton probably knows. And if he is openly corrupt, the opponents of the Assembly should know him well.
All these ideas will indeed cut off Victor from his support network.
But
This is going to sound self-interested, but if we could help the mutants escape from the pen, it would expedite the Colonel's downfall. The people and the Assembly would be outraged to know that after decades of civilized control, Victor was the one who couldn't keep them in check. I'd like to see the Colonel try to justify his mistake of so many slaves, particularly ones notorious for their feeble minds.
no, it's not selfish. It's a good plan. We're gonna help mutants in the pen prepare their escape. After a mass breakout like that, his reputation will never be the same. Thank you, all of you, for the ideas. Now let's make them happen. Hi.
Zachariah!
I heard you escaped.
Through a very sad and beautiful story. Sad because of the lives such success cost. Beautiful for the outcome it created. Factories of pain and sadness. Mutants are harassed by fellow inmates and guards alike. Beaten, mistreated, forced to work. Many died from exhaustion or untreated wounds. One day, one of my people had fallen from exhaustion. I tried to stop a guard from hitting him. Understand, I am not violent, but their violence had to stop, so I struck the guard, and after that, events escalated. Rioting soon had become the only solution. We never had the thought of running away, only the need to show we would not live in those conditions anymore. A man, another prisoner, gave us aid.
You remember his name?
Yes, Roy Temperance. He had a boy. Innocence, I believe. They gave us tools to defend ourselves, but the key to our escape came with the death of the camp's administrator.
A soldier?
A Technomancer, placed there by his superiors for disobeying orders, from what I understood. No one dared look him in the eyes. His name was...
Yeah, I knew Sean. He was my master. He was growing tired of the path Abundance was taking, and he probably said it one too many times, to one too many people.
I am sorry, Zachariah. Even if his death made way for our escape, I can feel your pain.
Greetings, Zachariah.
Rumor is Aurora's dowser was deposed. I need to know it's more than rumor, though. If it's true, we might be able to convince some members of the Assembly that Victor needs to go.
Even though I don't like the idea of continuing the conflict between Abundance and Aurora that has caused so much suffering, if it's what needs to be done to dethrone Victor, I have a few contacts among Aurora's Technomancers. They're not quite brothers, but they're at least like cousins. And I've heard their messengers nearly always follow one particular shadow path. Let me show you. This one here. If you go, you may be able to stop one of their couriers. If the news you're expecting is as important as you say, I'm sure it will be in the documents they are carrying.
Thanks, Melvin.
Zachariah, I've received a message from Dandolo. He has some information on the disappearance of patients.
Really? Did he learn where he was taken?
The ASC had him locked up in an old dome near Ophir. In his message, he says that it's a dome that Technomancers used to use. Does this sound familiar to you?
Hard to forget. Yes. That's where initiations would take place before a mantis destroyed everything. We'll have to go free him. The place must be teeming with soldiers fighting for Victor. But we can't leave the old Technomancer in their hands.
We're lucky that scum in Phobos managed to stop Kane. That crazy zealot could have led us to the grave.
Square one.
Damn, that's weird. But I thought the dome was in ruins. So then, where'd they put that old geezer?
There should be a few standing structures next to the ones that collapsed, unless they've already started clearing the rubble.
That sounds like bad news.
It would be. There were secrets in those ruins. I would rather have stayed buried, especially from the ASC.
That's the problem with secrets. All that time spent worrying about someone finding out. It's a burden that turns into a habit, that turns into obsession. I know you're just as scared about what's in the dome as what patients might reveal. I just hope the old man's still holding on. He's as stubborn as an unfed ostrich. But I don't know if he'll be enough. enough in the hands of the ASC.
Poor Patience. He thought he was finally safe in Noctis. Instead, we threw him straight back into Victor's arms.
What do you mean? We saved him from that camp.
It's just, we must have attracted the attention of Victor's spies when we asked Dandolo to keep an eye on him. He was supposed to be just another nobody in Noctis, but our request ended up selling him out.
We'll have to be careful. The place must be teeming with troops. And as much as I believe in the honest run and gun, if they hold Patience hostage, our rescue plans might have to be a bit more sophisticated.
You're right.
What's that place? Never heard of it.
The Technomancer's museum and library, where we used to do all our initiations, and all our knowledge.
So what? Then the ASC destroyed the dome?
No, I did. During my initiation, a giant mantis somehow snuck in, and obviously a fight broke out. And you can imagine what followed.
At least you got out alive, no?
Need a key to open this door.
Patience! Wake up! Patience, come on! Damn it, they almost killed him.
Stop! Let me go. I won't tell you it. Zach? Zach? Holy shit, is it really you?
You figure out what the tablet said?
Unfortunately. If I hadn't, then I wouldn't have been able to tell them anything, but I just finished when they found me.
What did it say?
It talked about a giant research base that was able to keep in contact with Earth. They had a beacon and gave the base's coordinates. I mean, the coordinates weren't up to date anymore, so I had to recalculate them, but it's in the South Pole, Zach. It's protected by a huge layer of ice.
What the hell happened to you?
I was on the way back to my place. There was someone behind me, and before I could turn, he was on me. Next thing I knew, I woke up in a cell. They tortured me for days. Wanted me to talk, wanted me to tell them everything I knew about you. Where you were, what you were doing, what we found.
What did you tell him?
At the beginning, I fought, Zach. I did. I fought. Didn't say a damn thing. Then Victor came. And the shit he did to me, Zach, you have no idea. I didn't tell him everything. I didn't, but I had to tell him something. Or I told him what I found in the tablet. Everything. I'm so sorry.
Stop. It's fine. You did what you could. Everyone's got a breaking point. All right. Let's untie you and get you out of here.
Must find the City of Ice before they do, Zachariah. If Victor finds the beacon, he could use it to gain the people's trust. Furthermore, if he finds the secrets buried there...
He's got a head start, but we'll catch him.
Aye, aye, Zach. If it's really the City of Ice...
What?
I'll have to make some mods. It'll be tougher than you think. Also, wear an extra layer or two if you don't want to freeze your nuts off.
As long as Victor has the Assembly's blessing and the full support of the ASC, it'll be pointless to look for that city. With his huge resource advantage, he'd beat us there every time.
What do you think we'll find in that lost city? You know, besides the beacon. I suspect the settlers brought back plants and animals from Earth, and probably left some in that base. And if just a few survived, we could find an ecosystem unlike any on Mars, completely sheltered by the ice.
Why should we go to this city instead of just overthrowing Victor? What are you planning?
I'm looking for a beacon. I want to get in touch with Earth, but not so I can run from the ASC, and so I can reunite with our ancestors. Gain back everything we've lost. With the people of Earth, we can stop the wars over water. We can utilize the technology we lost. We can understand the choices they made.
That sounds perfect. Too perfect. I hope what we find doesn't disappoint you.
Meet Patience. We just broke him out of one of the ASC's jails. He could use a place to recover.
Then he is welcome to recover here. Our healers, patients, will be honored to tend to your wounds.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you. All this reminds me of an old hiding spot I had in the desert. Thank you again, both of you.
This is real nice and all, but I don't know about all this.
About what?
I'm guessing you're gonna want to go to that city, right? Right. Problem is, that city's coordinates, according to what Patience said, is the South Pole. Rover's good, but it ain't that good.
Any way to make it that good?
I don't know. Gotta think about it. I mean, it'd need some sort of ice-breaking blade in the front and insulation around the whole thing.
If I know you, I'm sure you'll figure it out.
I like your faith in me, but... problem is, I don't have a damn clue how to add all that heavy shit to the rover's frame without slowing it down like fucking crazy. My dad would have known what to do. Not my dad, though. You remember what his machine looked like? All messed up and missing parts and shit? Wasn't the same one as mine. We should go find his notes and drawings. He wasn't just a reacher, he was a hell of an engineer.
So where's the notes?
I don't know. Maybe the shed back in Ophir? If they were, hopefully they didn't get thrown away since I left.
We better go see.
Gonna be damn fucking cold out there, Zach.
Maybe we should go borrow some gear from Victor. He's known the site's coordinates a lot longer than we have. Sure, he's built some cold weather equipment already.
I like the way you think, Zach.
I'm pleased Scum was chosen. He has already proven he can lead our people. And his speech was so
Some relics. You're a Technomancer. You gotta know where we can find some.
Yeah, but the relics we keep aren't ones I'm gonna use for an operation like this. We need some minor relics.
What's the difference?
The amount of information we can get from them. Most of the objects dating back to the settlers are just trinkets. The ones we keep are data interfaces, though. Way too valuable to risk losing.
Welcome.
I'm looking to buy some ASC.
Not an easy thing to come by, but...
I'll take them all.
That's what I'm talking about. Making business.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
I need your help. I'm trying to compel some assembly members to withdraw their support for Victor.
You have my attention.
There's a fraction of religious assembly members that would be appalled to learn Victor keeps certain relics for personal use. And if they did, it's all but certain that they would drop their endorsements and exile him.
And how exactly do you plan to prove that?
Oh, just by making Victor's relic collecting a little more visible to the public eye. Imagine a few ASC agents carrying relics, along with orders stipulating that they bring these objects to the Colonel. They're chugging along until they bump into a group of concerned citizens who insist they bring the relics back to the proper authorities.
Ah, so I guess you'll play a concerned citizen while my men dress up as ASC agents. They won't be flattered, but if you provide the costumes, they'll take care of the rest. I am pleased to know that my use of disguises inspired you. Perhaps we'll own a theater together someday. Anyway.
Signal station, and I'll stop your train dead in its tracks.
Good thing they don't have a rover.
Got that right. Aurora might have won the war and be overflowing with Technomancers, but they don't have decent fucking vehicles.
You a messenger?
Look, I can't tell you anything. Please, if I can't. The information I have is...
I know, but you're gonna have to comply. Train stopped. I'm gonna need your tablet and all the information that you can provide me about your dowser.
What? I would never jeopardize Aurora.
Either way, you're gonna give me what I want. You can give it to me, or I can pry it from your cold, dead hands.
You don't understand. Now, if I tell you, they will kill me. Either way, I will never be able to return to Aurora. Our dowser, Wisdom, was dismissed, executed. Take my tablet. It has anything else you want to know. Now please, please leave me alone. Please.
Kinda feel bad for Aurora. I don't know much about them, but the fact that you hold their death sentence in your hands.
With as weak as Abundance is now, I'm not even sure they can beat Aurora down, even if it's the perfect time to try.
Mr. Mancer, I was sent by an important citizen. He's in need of your help and
I'm guessing you're not gonna give me this important...
No, just... he says he already owes you his life. I need to go.
Captain! You hear the rumor about Aurora's dowser?
Dismissed? Of course. We have a general who's dying to hear if it's true. It would open a door to recover what was taken from us.
Tell your general he can stop dying then. I took a tablet from an Aurora messenger. Confirmed everything.
Where Victor failed, You succeeded. And it is exactly what our military commanders will think. Colonel's going to have trouble keeping support in the Assembly with that out there. Well done, Lieutenant.
I really need some information about Scott Seeker's son. Like, what happened to him after he got arrested?
You know how monitored we are, Zachariah? What do you want? I go poking around, we could find ourselves fired. Or worse.
Whatever we find isn't gonna bother anyone today, but it could bring some peace to the people who never stopped loving or wondering what happened to the boy. The more I learn about it, the more complicated it gets. I'm just trying to bring some peace, Captain. Just look into some dusty files. No one's gonna care.
All right. Hope you're right, Zachariah. We'll dig into the archives, but it'll take some time.
Tomorrow it is. Thank you.